So in my life, folks, I get to have full circle moments where I grow up and watch someone or some folks or some people do things that I admire. And then now, being in the business, I get to actually sit down and talk to them. People like In Vogue, people like Soul
Ooh.
Soul, people like Loose Ends, people like Eric Braeden and
Oh,
Michelle
yeah.
Stafford. People like that who become my friends. Actually, all become my friends since then. Where's another person? Thanks to my other new friend, Susan Banks, who was on the show
Yes.
this season.
Yes. Love
This
Susan.
person has, you think I have a voice? I bow down to his voice because he had his first, so I get that first. But he has a voice, and many of you guys are thinking, in the soap world, I know him, don't I? With the hat, the voice. He was someone who was in a space that didn't always include us. And so for me, it was an honor to see him on my TV screens talking about soap operas because he played a character named Cla'rence. Is that ringing a bell to you guys now? Welcome to Extra Connections. I'm James Lott Jr., and I am happy to have a guest who is now my new friend. We're going to talk about his being a comedian, being an actor, a producer, a writer. He's done so much stuff. And we're going to talk about Cla'rence too, and I'm so glad he's wearing a hat. My new friend, Brad Sanders. Hi, Brad.
Hello, everybody. I would tip my hat, but I'm scared to take it off now. Yeah, okay. I'll just give you one
There
of
you go.
these.
There you go. Brad, first of all, thanks for being on the show. It
My
really is an honor
pleasure.
to have you on.
My pleasure. When I saw you on with Susan, I'm like, Susan, could you hook me up?
And I was like, yes. She said, do you want to talk? I said, yes. So she barely get the sentence out. I was like, yes.
Okay.
I show. And I know the folks here are going to really appreciate this. And so I want to start off with something almost a little serious. I have a large African American audience who watches soap operas, which you know they do, and especially Young and the Restless
Oh,
and
yeah.
Beautiful, very large audience. And like I said, I seeing you do those Cla'rence updates, seeing you at the Emmy, seeing you in places, even though you were playing a character, it was important for me as a Black person who loves soaps to see a person in a space that we just didn't normally see.
Right.
You were suave and debonair. You were able, and you know there was comedy in it too, but you were like something we just didn't see very much of. So I wanted to ask you what was family election like to you then? How's it been since? Like, do you know that people feel this way about just you being in that space?
Well, I've had inklings of it from time to time, but never like the fan adulations that you have with big pop stars and all of that. But as a stand-up comedian, I was doing a soap opera bit as part of my act, and I saw people listening to, especially the women. They were like elbowing the guys. Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it was really quiet, and I thought it was bombing. Because nobody's laughing. I'm like, okay, well,
but they were relating. They're relating to you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, I'm doing the bit, and I'm talking about Cliff and Nina and Palmer Cortland and Langley Wallingford and all these kind of people, and I'm just rattling it off, right? And I didn't realize that they were actually listening to me. I'm thinking, this is kind of silent. Let me get out of this bit and go find me a joke somewhere. But they were just into it so much. And after a while, it became, I guess, when I had a gig in Dallas where Tom Joyner was on the radio.
Tom Joyner, yes.
And he heard me, and he came down to the club. He would just come down to see comedians because I guess he would have them on the show from time to time.
Okay.
He came down to the club and saw me do the bit and asked me to come and do it on his radio show.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was doing it on the radio. I did it on the radio show. I was walking, in Dallas in the daytime before showtime, and I was overhearing people talking about, did you hear this dude on the radio talking about all my children? And yeah, they were laughing and talking to each other. They didn't know it was me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're like something's going on.
Something's happening. I didn't know what. It took me a while to finally just figure out somewhere to do it. Where I heard I was listening to KJLH in LA.
Yeah,
Stephen
right here
Wonder.
by my house, right by my house, right the corner.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So and this lady named Coco. Coco,
Yes.
I think so. She was on there doing comedy. She do all these voices and stuff, and she
Yes.
was funny. I said, man, they're doing comedy, but they don't know how to really take advantage of her. They don't know how to use her because they're just, sticking her out there. So I went down in hopes of getting on the radio with Coco. I wasn't even thinking about Clarence Update. And I go in there and I think I got a stack of material of possible things we could do. And I go in and Jim Maddox says, no, wait a minute, do that soap opera thing. So I did that, and then they made it a regular feature. And that's the first time it was on radio as a feature.
Well, it's funny. Back in the day, I just want to tell people who may not be as older as we are. Back in the day, morning show and weekend show bits were very big. I used to listen to Rick Dees in the morning. That was a big thing on Kiss FM. It was like, it was very much, he had to cast the characters and he do voices. And that was a big thing. That was a big thing. Big Boy and them on 106. There was always kind of playful stuff going on. So you could get a job as a person doing crazy voices and bits.
Right.
So you did. That was a big deal.
That all evolved from back in the radio days. I mean, the real radio days, they didn't have an alternative. There was no television. And you had people like Bob and Ray on the radio and people like that. You had to have crazy people calling up. And radio was and is theater of the mind. It really is.
I had a radio show. That's how I got into this business 9 years ago. And I did. And here's the thing I learned about radio that's wonderful and different, because you can't rely on visual stuff. There's no visual. That's out the door. Right. So it makes you use your other part of your brain.
Exactly.
Because it's all auditory. I mean, it's all you have to, you can't go, here's a sight gag. There's no sight. Like, I learned. I mean, even talking on the radio, learning all that stuff's kind of, you have to keep them engaged somehow because they're listening. They're not looking at you.
Exactly.
Right. It's very different, isn't it?
And that's your instrument. When we were recording "It's Your World," I would say, look, you have to make them see this, and your voice is what you're going, the tonality of your voice. Even if you want to look at if LaQuisha looks at somebody askance, you don't go, and she looks askance, and what you'll hear is, you know what?
Yes, you have to hear it in the voice. You have to. Yes, exactly. I love radio. I know radio's still there; it's out there. But I love radio. I will never forsake radio. That was my first love and passion. And I've noticed when I came on television and started doing TV, some of my favorite bits I did on TV were with other radio people.
Yeah,
they knew, because we had that connection and knew how to amp it up, I guess. And I guess that right or something like that. We just knew how to connect.
Well, you're sharing the same vibe with them. It's just like just being in the studio with somebody. Like when I was doing voiceovers for CBS, after I started doing the Cla'rence Update, that's how they got onto me, and they put but Susan Banks, the whole suave thing.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Susan. Oh, I know that.
Yeah. Okay. No, I wore hats, and I was all right. I was all right, but Susan Banks is the one that put me in a limo with the 4 monitors. Each of the 4 CBS soaps. And she invented this thing called Getting the Scoop with Cla'rence.
Yeah.
I say Cla'rence, but my original character was Cla'rence. Hey, baby, apostrophe ENCE. But Miss Banks went to Brown.
Yeah, she a little.
She would not tolerate the Jahato euphemisms. And so,
she was not going to have that.
No, it is Cla'rence.
How funny!
I said, that's my character, Cla'rence. I said, yeah, but I got that. That's a trademark. We get another one. Make it Cla'rence on your own time and your other.
You got it. You did it. You followed what she said. You said, okay.
I sure did.
Sure did.
I sure did do what she said. La Banks. But she had me, boy. She had me in the limo and the wardrobe. Well, she dressed me way better than I did myself.
Yeah. Well, let's get into that. I want to know, how do you go from comedy bits on soaps, the radio bits on soaps, to CBS? I mean, like CBS daytime. How did you bridge that connection for me? Like, how did that,
Okay,
again, a black man back in the 90s,
yeah.
when when that was just wasn't happening that often. We were trying to get black folks on soaps. But like you were, I mean, how did that bridge happen? How did that happen?
Well, this is the circuitous route we're
Oh, I
about
love
to.
that word. I love the word. Okay, I'm
You
ready.
got time for this?
Everybody listen. Everybody ready. Get ready. Yeah.
Okay, get ready for the circuit. All right, so okay, as you know, I'm doing stand-up comedy and this and that, and I ended up getting syndicated.
Okay.
Because when well, see, the best thing that and it wasn't Stevie Wonder's fault, but the best thing management did for me at KGLH is they didn't pay me.
Okay. And that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. Yes.
Right.
Right.
So they made me, they made me get up and go, oh, well, this ain't gonna work. Because by the time I came to that conclusion, I was sponsors were sponsoring the Cla'rence update.
Okay. Okay.
Universal Studios
Oh,
had never bought time on KGLH. And they did lunch with Cla'rence and Jesse from All My Children.
oh my God. All right. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just circuitous. I can't take you through the whole thing. We ain't got that much video. But I just wanted,
We did a abridged version. Yeah, whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, well, I'll give you. I'm not going to give you the Cliff Notes, but I will give you a somewhat abridged version. So that led to me getting on. I started hustling, calling stations. I tried to get on with Rick Dees in the morning.
Yeah, Kiss FM. That was big business. He was big.
That was big. But they, the people, person I talked to, I didn't get past the secretary.
Oh, okay.
But she was very nice.
Okay.
She took my information or whatever. And it's like, okay, goodbye. So I went on over. I walked into Westwood One and talked to a guy named Charles David Moore. What was this guy? Well, anyway, I walked over there, and his name will come to me in a second or two.
Yeah.
But I just went in there. I said, I want to see so-and-so. I went back there. I had a cassette tape. He heard it. He says, oh, man, you should get on KGLH with this. I'm already on KGLH. Right. Oh, really? Well, Scott Shannon's going to be here for the We Are the World simulcast. It's going to play We Are the World all over the planet.
Remember that.
He's an important program director. Now get this, I know nothing at all about radio and program directors and none of that. So Scott Shannon hears it following Monday. He calls me up and puts me on his radio show. So I'm on the Z Morning Zoo. I'm a black guy on a CHR, mean white radio.
Yes, folks. If you don't know that, yes, exactly.
Yeah, right. And so, and doing a black character because he liked it. And All My Children is out of New York.
That's right.
So he put me on there, and I ended up on the #1 station in the #1 market.
That's crazy.
And this guy said, man, you want to be on some more stations? I got some stations, man. Because he was like Robert Taylor Moore. That was the guy named at Westwood One.
Okay.
And George Taylor Moore, Robert Taylor Moore. But anyway, I should remember his name because he really did me a solid. So wherever you are, bro, big ups to you. So he had said that this is an important DJ, man. And he hooked me up with Philly, with the station in Dallas.
Wow.
I got on. No, was that? It was another station in Texas. Anyway, I ended up having the top 10 stations in the country.
That's crazy.
Yeah, here's the crazy part. The crazy part was I would watch the show, take my notes, have my copy, and call, collect, and record it over the phone 10 times a day.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You got to call collect, folks. You got to call collect. You know what that is? Look it up. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, right. That's very important. You call collect.
yeah. Make them pay for it. Make them pay for it. Exactly.
Because you're gonna be on a while. And
Yeah.
I did this 10 times a day for all the stations. How I got on with Kiss though, after because I ended up with that with LA too on Kiss. Jerry DeFrancisco, who was the general manager over there.
I know that name. Yep, I know that
I
name.
was on I was on the road doing a gig. This dude, they tracked me down in Virginia somewhere. I don't even know where I was. They tracked me down and asked me when I could start that update because the guys talk.
Yeah.
It was doing good in New York. It was doing good well in Philly. It was doing well in Tampa, Florida. It was doing, it was happening. So that's how I got the syndication deal. And then after that, I started with Premier Radio Networks when they were just starting. They had, I think, National Lampoon's True Facts and
Yes.
Veggie Tales.
Yes, I know those. Yes.
And Steve Lehman came to the house and, we struck a deal. And so I got on there. So how I ended up getting on with, I told you the circuitous, but I'm coming back.
Actually, I want to stop there for a second because this is so interesting. You were unique. You had your own. You weren't trying to be anybody else. You had your own bits. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like everybody's trying to catch on to wherever the trends are to get on. But I'm saying you went the true route of I am a comedian. I can write stuff. I'm doing several of these bits. The soap world is kind of my thing over here, and you made your way up the ladder through the country, like literally doing what you have to change your whole everything to make a trend.
Yeah, well, see, God just guides you step by step. If you just do the next right thing, you're going to end up where you're supposed to be. And you don't know the right thing in advance.
No.
Who knew I was going to, I'm doing a bit over here. Next thing I know, I got a syndicated radio program, syndicated radio program with 5 million listeners a day.
That's crazy.
Before they had TikTok,
social media and all that. So they didn't have all that.
How many hits? It wasn't hits. It was actual ears.
Actual ears and numbers. Actual numbers.
Every day, numbers that they could sell. And that's how I started learning the syndication business, at least to that extent. So we go through we got the syndication deal with Premier. We're popping, we're happening, and then a lady named Josie Emmerich over at ABC decided after the network gave me permission to do the All My Children update. She got a hair and said that I was a loose cannon, and he shouldn't be allowed to talk about the show and blah 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 blah. So ABC sued me.
Oh,
yeah, I got sued. And see, like it's been back in the day, so I can talk about it now. But for years, I couldn't. You're the first interview I've ever talked about this with. But I got
exclusive. Okay, got it.
Exclusive. Well, you're that kind of guy. So we have to get the lawyers. We have to do this and that. And we got a really good lawyer out in New York. My attorney, who did my syndication deal for me, was Scott Zolke. And he's now a partner at Loeb and Loeb Entertainment.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In Los Angeles. Well, he was smart enough to say, this is a New York deal. We got to get. He says, I ain't got the juice for this. We got to get a honcho. So this guy, Scott Zolke, gets Chuck Ortner, who at the time, he was Madonna's lawyer.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Back in the day, when Madonna was
yes.
She was on fire.
Yeah, she was.
Anyway, that was her. But he was a great guy. But we had to fight this battle and spend money. But what ended up happening was during the whole fracas, I could no longer do the All My Children update. But I got an offer from Days of Our Lives and I got an offer from another network, and fortunately, here's God doing it again. We get a at the time, my attorney, I had to fly him in from Georgia because he was with the Georgia Tech legal department, sports department, legal guy. So we get we have a meeting with John Miller over at NBC, but he sent one of his minions over there, and they had me sitting out there in the lobby. I done flowed my lawyer in. I'm ready to do business. Matter of fact, I've been doing business. I'm ready to do business.
That's right. That's right.
I'm going to do business. I'm here to do business.
Yes.
Person of non-color sitting behind that desk. Wanting to know, can I help you? Wanting to, which what that translates into.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing here? But anyway,
yes.
This assistant leaves me sitting out there. And I said, well, hell, let's get the hell out of here. So I'm going down, we going down Wilshire Boulevard. Now I'm cussing and I'm fussing out. I'm like, oh man, I'm just going, I'm just going. And Scott says, well, Kathy Cullerton over at CBS, she was talking to me about this. Let me call her. And Kathy, she was in charge of promotion.
Yes, I know who she is. Yes.
And man, Kathy Cullerton said, yeah, come on over. So we have a conversation, we strike a deal. The next thing you know, I'm in a conference room at CBS with Susan Banks and her staff from Daytime Promotions. And so Kathy Cullerton said, yeah, oh yeah, we'll have that 5 million listeners a day, sure.
Yeah, they would. Yes, they would. Yes, indeed.
And then Bill Bell said, yeah.
Yeah, he's not dumb. They're not dumb.
You betcha.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and Bill Bell says, I'll just charge you $1 for, to do it. And my attorney says, no, we can't do that because that would nullify our affirmative defense, which was, this is a report akin to a newspaper report or a television news telling people about an event, and it does not warrant compensation for permission to talk about an event.
Got it.
So Bill Bell said, okay, cool. Yeah, okay. Just doing it because that's the usual thing you did. I'm a survivor.
Yeah.
Song.
Yeah.
You remember they used to play that song for the TV show?
Yeah.
Well, that deal was made for $1. They made that because the Beyonce was still with Destiny's Child. They hadn't blown up. They was large now because they had hits, but
that's right. Yep.
But they not like they became. So so that's what Bill Bell was following. I mean, that's a normal thing.
Yeah.
So and that's how I ended up with The Young and the Restless.
That is what kills me is you start out doing ABC shows. Like you literally could have been the All My Children person. Like I mean, that could have been your route, but it turned out because of some people getting hairs up their asses, you end up going to CBS.
Yeah, that was the inference I was making. Exactly.
I'll say it for you. Yeah, but that's just very interesting how that. But it's still soap. It just was like different channel. That's very interesting. Very interesting.
Still soap. The soaps was hot, man.
Back then, yes, especially.
I didn't know what I was getting into, man.
I was going to ask you. So, did you? I mean, I'm sure. Didn't your mother watch soaps? Or anybody did they watch soaps?
Are you kidding? My mother was the soap queen.
Of course.
Her stories, man.
Her stories.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you. Good. So
you knew about soaps. Obviously, you knew about
it. But that's how I knew about soaps in my house growing up. But what got me into All My Children was a guy named Seth McCormick, a brother out of Chicago. And this was long before I moved to LA. This brother out of Chicago we playing golf one day, and he got to quit so he can go home and watch Erica Kane.
Yes, that's right.
Miss Kane.
It's Cade. Yep.
Yeah, but he was hooked on it, and that's how I got into All My Children from another guy. And Miss Kane, you know, I would talk about Miss Kane, did this and that, and Jeremy and all of that. Yeah, but
and folks don't realize, I give them the props. The first Black super couple on television,
yep,
Angie and Jesse.
yes,
Darnell Williams and the beautiful Debbie Morgan. You know,
yes,
they were huge.
And one of my lines was because Angie's father didn't want her to associate with this miscreant.
That's right.
I said, "Oh, you played Huggy Bear on Starsky and Hutch. Now you act like you don't know nobody."
Yeah, that's funny. I know when he came out, I was like, "We know him already." Yeah, it was kind of funny. Yeah, I remember that. Yes, I remember that. That's so funny. That's so funny.
And you know, getting back to my mother, my mother, her stories, I would hear her talking about the stories. Yeah, I think she was talking about real people. You know, had an accident, got killed, whatever.
Yes.
Those stories. That was the stories. Because I wanted to come home from school and watch Three Stooges reruns and Amos and Andy. I wanted to see the comedy shows, and not at 3:30.
You were watching at 3:30. You were watching those. She was watching what she was going to watch. Exactly. Back then, you only had one TV, and there were like 4 stations, and that's about it in the house.
And they paid the electric bill.
Yes, they did. That's right. No, I love it. Yeah. Okay, so now we'll cut you a little forward. So now you're basically at Television City at CBS working with them with their shows. The first there were 4, later we came to it, but there were 4. I remember seeing you starting with the Y&R and all the little updates. Like, who's this guy coming in all of a sudden? And I thought you were funny. And I thought, oh, he's kind of fun. And I just kept thinking, and I had friends would tell me, I wasn't even in the business, would go, you should be doing what he's doing. Because I love soaps. I was a Black man. And I tell you, representation, it does. If no one else tells you, I'm telling you myself, it does matter. Because I just go, that's kind of cool what he's doing. And now years later, that's what I do. I do a recap every week of my soap operas, of Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful. I have co-hosted. That's what I do. But I'm saying you were kind of.
Oh, that's where my gig went. Oh, okay.
I took it. Sorry, Brad. I took it. He looked left, and all of a sudden I came in from the right. That's what it was.
Who is this guy? Whoever he is, I want to be with him because he got it going on. He gets some of that.
Okay, yeah. But no, but I'm saying, but you are representation for me that I because of you, I kind of am part of this because you were doing it.
You know, so nobody does this. Nobody does this alone.
No,
nobody.
No.
It's like, but my mom was hooked on soap, so I didn't know I was being exposed to something that I would eventually fall in love with. And then she gave me, when I moved from Chicago to LA, she gave me. When I was in Chicago, I wasn't doing the soap opera thing at all. Right. Then I didn't start that until I got to LA. She gave me a book called The Daily Word. So I would have something to think about besides the LA grind.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Which I didn't even, you know, because if you gotta have something else on your mind when you come to LA. Because people think LA is just, you know, laid back, you know, surfer guys and flowing blonde hair. And they think man, LA is a fast track.
Yes,
it will eat your ass up.
Oh, well, and keep on walking.
And it costs money to be broke in LA.
Yes, it does.
If you ain't getting paid at something, you can't stay here.
Nope, you can't.
And you damn sure won't be staying indoors.
It's very true indoors. That's funny. It's very true. All right, so you get the kind of partnership. You're doing your syndicated radio show, of course, but now you're doing the video stuff. Now, were you, like, for me, I never thought I'd do video. I just never thought I'd do video. So when I started doing it, I liked it. I like the camera. I mean, the camera like me.
You still know how to work it. Look at him. You see him. You see how he draws.
Like a girl.
Intimacy. That's intimacy right there. Let's get personal. Yeah.
You know what I'm doing. Hey, you know what I'm doing. I do that. But I know I never thought I'd be on video. So for you, What was that transition like for you? Because you're still writing your own copy, you're still doing but now you're on video. So what was that like for you?
Well, it was great. I mean, because um, when I was after doing and having exposure with The Young and the Restless, I mean, this Bell Television, baby, you know. And they said, well, let's do, because it was now we're coming into the 21st, we're in the 21st century now, and things are happening, and a lot of video stuff, and they wanted a video presence. So they asked me, excuse me, sorry, they let's say let's do the Cla'rence Bold and Beautiful update.
Remember that. Yep.
Yeah, so online. So that's how I got into the video arena with the soaps. And I write, you know, they would give me videos to look at or scripts. So I knew the characters, I learned the characters. And, you know, getting back to Bill Bell and the whole CBS reality was that, of course, we want free advertising twice a day nationally. And Kathy Kellerton is like, I know what it costs because I make the buys. You know, she didn't say it like that, but that's
right. But you know what she meant,
doing.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, because that's why she was able to say, oh yeah, come on, I'll take some of that free stuff. So that opened a lot of doors for me. That was really good.
Oh, I'm sure. Now, because I remember you from that time. That's when I started remembering you. So I remember the stuff. You did some promos too, I think, also with Bold and Beautiful, like, you know, coming. I think you did a few of those too, didn't you? I think so.
Oh, I did promos for all four of the.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I remember you doing promos. Okay. Well, I just want to ask this, like, so for you, what was it like working for the Bell family? I mean, did you ever meet Jimmy, you know, Bill and all them, and Lee Phillips and all them? Yes, yeah, so you knew all of them. You met all of them.
Well, see, Lee Phillips from Chicago. Bill Bell is from Chicago. Well, I didn't know her back then, but she used to have a show back there called Lunchtime with Miss Lee.
That's what I heard.
Oh, she was just the coolest person. And Bill Bell, yeah, I got to meet Bill Bell. I mean, you know, and I gave him an idea I had. Now, Susan told you about this.
Yes.
But she gave you she gave you the PG version.
Yes.
Okay, so Bill Bell and I are standing next to each other at the urinal, and I said, Bill, a big bus drives up to the Abbott Mansion. And on this bus is all of Mamie's relatives, and they're staying. He goes, all right, that's interesting. Next thing I know, here comes Drusilla.
Drusilla, that's right.
Yeah, and here comes her sister that she's got enmity with, because Drusilla's the little lost wayward black sheep, and Olivia's the doctor.
Yes.
And then here comes Nathan and Olivia and Nathan and the conflicts between there. I mean, it was just, Bill Bell is a brilliant dude. Yeah, and Lee, because they both built that show.
I want to ask you,
do
you have any memories of my friend, and I'm sure all of our friends, Christophe St. John, any memories? Because he was young back then.
Jesus Christ, man, yeah, I have very good memories.
Where were you when you heard that he had passed?
Dude, I was on my way to a studio to do an audio book. I'm on the 20 freeway in Georgia, on my way to Decatur, where the studio. No, Decatur was in East Atlanta at that time. They since moved to Decatur, but I heard that, man. I'm like, oh,
the wind went out of my chest. I felt like,
man, it's like, oh my God. And we had, we were talking. Look, Christophe St. John told me about Tin Skin.
Oh, funny. Okay.
I mean, we knew each other.
Yeah.
We became friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah. As a matter of fact, when we were doing one of our Be Good to Women Day events, he made an appearance, and he supported it. Lovely, lovely guy, man.
Yeah, he was very, very missed. But at time when you were doing stuff for Young and Restless, there were a lot of black folks on there. I mean, like I said, they were all on there. They were front and center, front storyline. I thought it was very cool. Back then, it was very cool. They were
It's just like the family, and this is how I learned how to write soap operas, like the one we have, It's Your World, and What's Poppin', hip hop soap opera. The nucleus of any good soap, any continuous story, is the family. And when that book opens up on screen, when All My Children is coming on and that theme music is playing, that book is the Martins. And these are all my children.
Yep. Yeah.
How can you not love it?
Right. Right.
So you got and then you got on the Young and the Restless, you got the Abbotts against the Newmans, and Victor Newman against the world, and all of these things come out of the nucleus of the family, and it gave me an understanding. And I would talk to Bill Bell sometimes, and he says, "Well, Bradley, you gotta leave room for the actors. You write the characters, you give them, but you have them to bring it to life, and you got to make room for the actors. Leave room for the actors, And I remember that. Remember that time somebody's baby was in the crib and swallowed a dime.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I forgot which one it was, but yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, and Victor Newman saw the baby and turned him upside down and dislodged it.
Yes.
And I said, Bill, you always have stuff like that in your show, because I could pop into his office every now and then at CBS. Oh, wow. He'd let me come in and talk to him, and I knew not to just stay too long, because the man is just, this man, right?
Yeah,
man got things to do.
Yeah, he's a little busy.
He's a little busy, but he gave me love, and he let me come back because I had sense enough to leave quick. But Bill told me, he said, you have to give the audience something. You have to give them something that's important, some information that they need. You can't just entertain. You have to connect. And that's one of the ways he really connected with the audience. Oh man, did I meet him? Dude, I was on the Christmas card list.
Hey,
I went to the Christmas parties, man.
There you go. So yeah,
at the house, they had a house, one of their houses, which was Howard Hughes's hunting lodge.
Oh, wow, okay.
And the ceiling opened up. It's like, yeah, like like when somebody say knock the brains out on the sunroof on your car.
Yes,
he knocked the brains out on the whole house, the whole ceiling, everything. And all you could see was sky coming out the roof, coming out the ceiling.
Yes,
but yeah, they would have great parties, and you got all of them, because the thing about it is they respected what I was doing just as much as I respected what they were doing. And they gave me love on that, man. That was like,
I like that.
Yeah. And so that's how I would, and I'd be in the studio sometimes, and Don LaFontaine would be over in this other studio, because, I would have to wait till he came out. Don LaFontaine he was doing like 10 and 20.
Oh yeah, he was. Folks didn't know he's a big voice person, maybe who he was, but yeah,
but he was the business.
He was.
Don LaFontaine was the business. He wasn't no joke. This dude, you know how he became a voice actor? He was doing demos for the guys he was recording. He would he was showing he would do the demo for the advertiser. And the advertiser, well, hey,
we use him. We don't need anybody else. We use him.
Hey, over here, why don't you do that? So you never know how guys put stuff together.
That's true.
And
That's
Bill,
true.
you never know. And Bill Bell, he told me, he said, I said, Bill, I notice you always have prayer. Some kind of, whenever one of your characters prays, things work out. He said, well, you have to do that. And that's what led to the conversation about you have to give the audience something.
Yeah.
You give them a sense of value, a sense of propriety.
Yeah.
You have to tell the truth. And when you don't tell the truth, bad things happen. Sheila.
Yes, yes. You were there for the beginning of that. Yes, you were there. You were there. My girl Kimberly Brown, my friend. You were there. You were there in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Any thoughts? Okay, a lot of black men and black young men. We all love Victor Newman. He's now Eric Braeden is now my friend. I can actually say he's my friend. What are your thoughts on Eric Braeden and Victor Newman and all that?
Sweet Vic Willie.
That's
what I call him. My man. Matter of fact, I got an interview with him. And he said, Sweet Vic Willie.
It sounds like you're next to yourself. I've interviewed him so many times. I love it.
I didn't tell him I got it from Robin Harris. It was a sweet something else with
I'm sure Robin, yes.
Robin Harris, not Williams.
Right.
But Eric Braeden, I would talk to these guys, these people. I'd interview them whenever I could. And he says, the thing about acting is you must listen to the other actor that you're acting with.
That's him.
Taxi.
That's him. That's him.
That's it, man. That's it. Yeah. So Eric, man, is a cool dude. And I pick up little traits about him. I said, Eric, Victor Newman got that leather jacket on. This gonna be some now.
Oh man. Yes. Oh yes.
It's gonna be some. Looks like gonna get dealt with.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. I like that. No, he's good. He's a good friend of mine. He's hanging in. He's still on the show. Full front burner storyline. 82 years old, still on the show.
Oh man, he's
doing his thing.
How old is he now? I don't care.
Oh, sorry, what?
I said, how old is he now? Then I said, I don't
82,
care.
82. He's 82.
82. Oh, Rick, yo.
On the show 41 years. 41 years this year. I interviewed him, and he was like 41 years. Like, wow, he's still front burner storyline.
What was that? What was that Army show he was on?
Rat Patrol.
Rat Patrol. Did he come there straight from Rat Patrol?
Well, no, he did. He did Rat Patrol, and they did a couple other like episodic things here and there, and then he did a movie, and then he did Young and Restless.
Oh yeah,
and stayed there.
I did Shamar Moore's first interview.
Shamar, okay, yes, who loves daytime still. He's always on daytime. He came back on the show.
Well, he was a model.
Right.
I saw him. I happened to be at CBS or something. I had my DAT machine with me, and we were sitting in the lobby. And I introduced myself, and he was very cordial, and we just chopped it up a little bit. And I got an interview with him, and just did the thing. But yeah, but there's the women at CBS. God, they love that dude. They made a Shamar Moore calendar.
Shamar still loved in that.
He was the Shamar of the month 12 times a year.
That's Shamar.
Just Shamar in this pose, Shamar over here.
The Shamar of the month. Everybody has yeah. Oh man. No, Shamar Moore truly was a daytime heartthrob. One of the first black ones, like a heartthrob that black women, white women, whatever. Everybody loved him. They all loved him.
And they weren't faking the funk, bro.
No, they weren't.
I used to be over. I used to walk those halls at CBS, and you go in the office and you see all the women had the calendar on their office wall. There wasn't no shame in their game.
I love it. Oh my god, I love it. So how long were you associated with that whole CBS daytime stuff? How long were you there with them?
Oh man. Oh shoot. I think I'm still to some degree
Yeah, so
associated.
yeah, probably part of, just you're still part of the family, I'm sure.
Yeah. But
The major stuff you did, I would say you were there for a while, but you were there for a while.
it had to be, dude, it had to be like 87,
Yeah,
like 87, something like that.
yeah,
Up until, now. Like I used
yeah.
to the Bold and the Beautiful, and I live in Georgia, and the Bold and Beautiful, we're sitting where I actually take that right here in the house.
Okay. Yeah. That's all right. Yeah. Funny. And you said on another show we were talking, you said the look, the hats, the debonair, all this stuff was Susan Banks' idea to make
Oh,
you suave, because suave and debonair.
well, she was influenced by moi.
Oh, well, you were the canvas to which
I
she.
did, yeah, I did have a hat.
Yes, you were a muse.
No, but
Yes,
no, yeah, but no, I had not. I'm from Chicago, man. We wear hats, we wear overcoats,
yep, it's true.
all of that. But the polish, the suave, as some folks would say, suave, the suave and the. If you look at one thing about Susan, it's always class. And the next thing right up there is representing her people, us, and any people. Right up there with the class and the respect is good lighting.
Okay.
She's the queen of that.
Yes. Oh, yes. We gotta make sure we
You
live.
would tell her, and the lighting director respected that. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Susan on many production stages when she went to TV1 before then, and while she was doing stuff at CBS still, the lighting had to be right. If it wasn't right, she would not get in their way. She would make suggestions that they knew they needed to fix. Oh yeah, Jay, this is gonna, I think, right here, blah blah, because she can do it in such a way where she was letting them know she wasn't trying to do their job, but her job is making the show look good, and that's all of our jobs, right?
Yes.
So, so she would, but yeah, Susan, but she had this mystery lady because she came up with this idea, getting the scoop with Cla'rence.
Yes, I totally remember
magazine. That. Remember that?
Yes, I totally remember it. Oh my goodness!
And remember, there's a lady. All you saw was the
yes, I totally. Oh my god, I'm having flashbacks right now. Yes, I totally.
Yeah.
Remember. Yes.
Yeah, man, I tell you, but without must give homage to Susan's leadership, of course. But she knew how to have. It was Susan Banks, Paula Swickley, Stacy. Oh Jesus, it's Stacy, Laura, her team, all these women that she would have there, they would come to her because she'd break it down, and everybody get an assignment, and they come to her and she tweak and do this, or she'll have meetings and she had all these great ideas, and they would just go in there and get it done. But her leadership was tremendous, in her taste, her sense of time, everything. Susan Banks is the business, man. I'm telling you.
Yes, she is. She is. So now, unfortunately, I have to end the show.
Okay.
But you have to come back for part 2. We have more to talk about. no one's going to sit here and watch a 5-hour show. So we already done an hour.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but you know what you're doing.
But we have more to talk about. So we're going to, after this, we're going to set up another interview, because I have more I want to talk to you about. So we're not nearly. I'm not nearly done. I'm not done with you yet. Not nearly done.
Thank you. It's nice to be invited back. Thank you.
To be invited back. So folks, we have more with Brad Sanders soon. So keep that. Stay tuned to JLJ Media for that and Extra Connections. But I want to keep going. But I'm like,
Stacy Singleton. She wouldn't forgive me if I forgot to say her last name. I had to.
Singleton.
I had to get that in. She was out here, my wife and myself, and she and her husband for his birthday. We had a wonderful dinner. They treated us here in Atlanta. But anyway, yeah, Stacy Singleton, the business.
Hi, Stacy. Brad, you are the best. And seriously, we will set up another interview. I want to continue. I have more to talk to you about. I'm going to continue this. We'll continue this conversation. We have more to talk about. We have way more to talk about.
Where can I see these? Where can I see this? I can't even call it just a podcast.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. Like I would tell everybody else. I'm going to tell Brad and tell everybody else on here. Extra Connections is everywhere you want to be. It's on YouTube at JLJ Media. Or if you want to just listen to our voices, because we got the great voices, you can go to any audio streaming service platform. That's Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I mean, I'm everywhere. Go to Extra Connections. This podcast will be on there. You'll see Brad Sanders' name, and you can listen to us in your ear holes. You can listen and hear our voices as we're talking about.
That always sounds so nasty.
I know the ear holes, and it's like
you admit that. You admitted that.
I'm a dirty old man. So
and listen to young, and listen to It's Your World.
Yeah, tell them. What can they find? Tell them where they can find it. Tell them.
Well, they can go. They can go to the. Right now, it's on the FM Omni channel, 95.1 or something. The FM Omni channel, and you can listen to It's Your World Monday through Friday at 7:40 and 7:40 a.m. and 5:55 p.m. Central Standard Time. Well, we're coming back.
I'll put that in the description so people can follow it there.
Okay.
And then we're gonna. I want to hear all about that. I want to hear all about that because I want to talk about because I write audio dramas. You have your. We have more conversation, folks. We got way more conversation. So that's going to happen actually soon. Thank you, Brad Sanders, for being on my show. It was an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you, JLJ. James Lott Jr.
That's right. I'm a 3-name person. That's right.
My man.
And folks at home, if you're somewhere where it's hot, stay hydrated, folks. It is crazy out there. Make sure they say, yes, there's water. Make sure you have your water.
This is water. Get you some.
Lots of water. Keep you young, too. Keep you young if you drink lots of water.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you next time here on Extra Connections.